Hey guys, it's Mike from Ojas. Just wanted to make you a quick video today about my logo. Actually, that's it. This is just a little description of my logo, just because I wanted to explain it. It means a lot to me, and I wanted to tell you guys the significance of the handprint. And that's it for today. Just a quick little explanation. So the handprint. So my logo is a handprint. You see a hand, and it's got only 4 fingers, and then Ojas and the breathe, move, meditate at the bottom. I really love my logo. I think it's awesome. It was developed by me and a man named John Bell Smith, who is a graphic designer. Bell Smith Design, I think, is what his company is called. If you're looking for someone to help you make a logo or some other kind of design. Anyway, so I'm going to tell you a little backstory, and then we'll bring it back to the why I chose to do that handprint. So when I was young, about 14 years old, I think I was, when I was introduced to marijuana and alcohol and a lot of other drugs, honestly, in my early teens. When I got drunk and got stoned for the first few times, I realized I felt like this was heaven. This is it. It was amazing to me. When I drank alcohol, I felt like I was funnier and more fun. I felt like it was easy to talk to people. When I drank alcohol and used drugs, I felt like the anxieties and stresses I had fell away, and I could just be loose and love life, and it was about a party, and we're here to have fun. Anyway, I was a self-conscious young man, and felt like people didn't really like me, and I worried about what people thought. I worried about what I said sounding dumb, or and seeing other people talking and seeing how witty they were. And so finding drugs and alcohol felt like an answer to me, because I felt like when I got a little loosened up with some booze, I could talk more easily to other people. It was fun. It brought people together. And also, I think I was a little bit rebellious. And so these were things that I was told not to do. And who are these people, my parents and authority and the police and probation officers and whoever, telling me that I can't drink and use drugs? So anyway, I discovered that stuff at a pretty young age and fell in love with it. It was basically the span of a few years, and basically drugs and alcohol were my life. That was what I really based most of my choices around, and what I was going to do for the day. I was going to hang out with other people that wanted to get high with me. I was going to party and get real wasted on the weekends, things like that. And that lifestyle continued on. A little bit later on in those years, like 11th grade, 16, 17 years old, I got introduced to hard opiates, strong opiates. So like at that time, it was the Oxycontins and like morphine and things like that, but Oxycontin was huge. And if you remember, that was like when this whole opiate epidemic really took off. And I can say that I feel so blessed, and I am so grateful that I'm even still sitting here, because a lot of people that I knew, a lot of people that I know today are still struggling, but a lot of people I knew that went down that same path as me are just not here anymore. They passed away over lots and lots of overdoses from opiates. It's dangerous. Heroin and all that stuff is just dangerous. So I'm blessed to be here. But anyway, late high school years, I started to get really heavily into the painkillers and the opiates, and then the other types of pills that you can take. And it progressed on. I graduated from high school, and in high school I got arrested a few times, but I was always on probation. But after high school, I got arrested at 19 for the first time, as an adult and ended up having to do some jail time, and then it just continued on, and I started using heroin because the Oxycontin type drugs, the hard opiate pills, were either too expensive or hard to get a hold of. And I'm just telling you quick details of things leading up to where we are today. It progressed, and that meant for me to be able to keep up those habits, I wasn't able to work a job hard enough to pay for what I was trying to do with drugs. So I ended up committing crimes, stealing things from stores to sell for drugs, finding out who I knew that was prescribed pain medications and things like that and taking their drugs. It was terrible. I became a very dishonest person, someone who was just looking for that next fix, and dangerous and risky behavior all the time. And anyway, getting into my mid-20s, it was basically, I felt hopeless. I felt like my life was, this is it. This is what it's going to be. I'm either going to die young, or I'm going to get put in prison and have to sit there for a long time from doing something terrible because my mind wasn't right and my judgment on the things that I was doing was not good. So where I felt like I maybe could have easily committed some kind of crime that could put me in prison for a long time. Or I was just going to continue on this cycle of just using drugs and scraping across the bottom of the barrel to get through life each and every day, suffering and struggling. At that time in my mid-20s, I felt like an 89-year-old unhealthy man. Like I had to basically peel myself out of bed in the morning, if I even slept at all, and then go through the process of trying to find something that'll relieve my pain and something, find the drugs to get through the day, to take care of children, and to try to be a normal person, a functional member of society, while I was not very functional at all. It was my rock bottom. At this point, I was living, I don't need to get into too much details, but just a terrible, terrible life. Was not good. And there was a night, I'm not sure what was actually going on exactly, but I was very much psychologically very messed up. I was depressed, and not taking care of my mental health whatsoever. And I was using some drugs, and I think I was drinking, and in a bad, terrible state of mind, I put my hand on top of a countertop and chopped my pinky off with a hatchet. So that is where the handprint came from. That's how I developed the handprint, was I had a missing pinky, and I made the handprint. Anyway, that's where I got that handprint from. And I'd like to say that was my absolute rock bottom. And in a way it maybe was, but that bottom, I had to ride through it for a little bit longer until I went to prison at 29 years old. And I was in prison for 18 months, but I had done a three-month rehab beforehand. So I was gone from the regular old life, from the real world, for 21 months. So not a long stint. In some people's eyes, 21 months might seem like, dang, that's terrible. I wouldn't know what to do. But then I know a lot of people that I've met while I was in prison, but then also other people that I know who have done, 4 years, 8 years. I met people that were doing 30 years. I met people that were doing a lot of time. And anyway, luckily, while I was in prison, I didn't just discover fitness. I tried working out before, other times when I had gone to jail, and it was always something that I liked and I appreciated from afar, could see that that's something I would want to do, but I never saw myself able to do that. I thought I was stuck in that lifestyle. During that time in prison, I was able to focus on myself and just work on me, and I learned that I could fill that space that I was using drugs to feel good. I could fill that space with exercise, with meditation, with goals through like lifting weights, lifting a heavier weight. I have a goal of lifting this much in a deadlift, or developing a better bench press, or being able to lower my mile run time, things like that. And then I was also sitting in mindful meditation all the time in there. So sitting in silence, which is something that is very hard for us to do this day and age. I will admit that it's been a little more of a challenge these days compared to there, because I didn't have a phone to play around on. I had a lot of people to talk to, but I discovered the true benefits of quietly sitting and letting my thoughts work through themselves, and just work on mindfulness and feeling myself and just being here now, rather than worrying a ton about the future and thinking so much regret and guilt and things about the past. It's like, this is where I am today, and I have nothing to worry about right now, and I'm just going to soak it up and let my thoughts pass and work through some things, blah blah. That's a quick snapshot of mindfulness to me in a lot of ways. But then anyway, while in prison, I told myself I was going to become a personal trainer. So then moving on, this is unscripted, by the way. I don't make videos with a script or anything like that. I'm not sure how that works, if people put a poster board on the wall with some bullet points. I know I get off on tangents, so maybe that would be a good idea for me. Maybe a videographer wants to reach out to me, or somebody else to help me figure out how to make more effective videos, but who cares? This is where I'm at today. So where I'm at, I was talking about the handprint. I put that handprint on my logo for me as a serious reminder of where I came from and then where I am today. 10 years ago, I never for the life of me imagined that I would be a fitness instructor in any way, a personal trainer, someone that people, all types of people, I've trained doctors and lawyers and all kinds of corporate people, to the blue collar, to stay-at-home moms, to stay-at-home dads. I've trained little children, I've trained really old retired people, I've trained athletes, and I've trained people that are just trying to get through some back pain, things like that. But people come to me and look at me as some kind of professional. I never imagined in my life that I would be able to be in some position of respect for some people, and it's amazing. And so when I created this business, I wanted to use something that would remind me of my past, to let me know how far I've come. But then at the same time, I'm really open about where I came from, and through my journey and through my path to getting here, I think it's a great example for anybody who feels like they're struggling with their health. Maybe you're struggling with weight, maybe you're struggling with addiction like I was, and like I still do. It is still a demon inside my mind sometimes, for sure. Maybe just, struggling in some way and feeling like, well, I can't do that, or it's too late for me, things like that. I want to let people know that I was so far away from where I am today, so far gone, felt so hopeless, like there was nothing that was going to dig me out of that hole. I didn't know how. Where would this come from? Anyway, so I got into this business not only because I love fitness, but because fitness saved my life, and because I want to help other people realize the type of freedom that you can gain through just taking care of your physical health. We're in a world where it's all just so mental. Everything we do is in our heads for the most part, when it comes to work and it comes to our social media and all this stuff, and our bodies turn into just these machines that take our minds from one place to another to work on things that we need to do in life. And we forget about our bodies, or like, oh, my back's bothering me and I don't know what the problem is, but I've spent the last 15 years sitting in a chair at this job and not doing anything to take care of my body, or all kinds of things. But anyway, I want to be a catalyst of positive growth for anybody who comes to see me, So if you want to get strong, I want to help you get strong. But at the same time, I want to be somebody that can bring some light and positivity to your day. And that's why I chose to put the handprint on there. It's just a big reminder and a picture of my history and where I came from and then where I am today. And I hope that I can be a little sliver of a part of anyone's life to be able to make those kind of changes, because there's no reason we need to be struggling day in and day out through life, especially this day and age. I mean, there are some tough things going on in life, that we're experiencing and I won't get into, but if I can help you in any way, that's my goal. And I'm going to start with the physical body, and then we can go from there. Anyway, a little bit of some tangents here and there, but that's where that logo came from. If anybody was confused, what's up with this 4-finger handprint? It's my 4-finger handprint, and it's just a good reminder of for me, of my past, where I came from. And here I am today, and I'm here to help you guys. It's Monday. It's a beautiful day. It's mid-August, and we got a lot of good warm weather left, Not time to start worrying about the fall or cold weather like I tend to do sometimes in the years. Let's get out there and have a beautiful rest of the week, and I'll talk to you later. I love you guys. See ya.